Being a boss babe is the dumbest thing you could do as a girl. You were literally meant to live the dang soft life. I'm not saying you can't do the same thing as a man. I'm not saying you can't become a doctor or lawyer or anything like that, because God knows I have big plans for my life. If you're striving to just outwork a man just for the pure, simple pleasure of like, I'm better than you, the person that's winning is a man.
If a woman expects you to be manly and masculine and pay for dates and pump her gas and be handy, then you can expect that she gets her ass in the kitchen. Men have to have standards too when it comes to dating, and stop letting women tell you otherwise. A woman that actually cares about you should want to cook you a nice meal. She'll naturally be nurturing towards you. She'll naturally want to do nice things for you. It shouldn't be this like struggle to get her to do nice things for you. Like, you shouldn't even have to ask. She should just go and make you a sandwich. As dumb as that sounds, how easy it is to make a guy a sandwich. And you know what's crazy is that most men would be so head over heels if a woman made him a sandwich. And like, it's making a sandwich is the easiest thing in the world. But women are just like, no, I will not be in the kitchen. I won't. And then they still expect men to do all the men stuff. The reason that I'm doing this is because women love to be like, why is the kitchen a women thing? It's not a gender thing. Men should be in the kitchen too. No, it is more of a women thing. Sorry. The thing is, like, your grandmas, your mothers, your grandmas, old school women would tell you, get in that kitchen. But you guys just don't know how to cook these days, so you're trying to pin it on men and be like, well, we should both cook, or you should do all the cooking, and I'll just sit here all pretty and do nothing and add absolutely nothing to this relationship. Men, if she expects you to be a manly man, then you can expect her to be a feminine woman that knows how to cook. There's absolutely nothing wrong with men wanting women to be women, because women have no trouble demanding men to be men. They have no trouble with that. So let's bring women back. Let's bring real women back. The grandmas would be super ashamed of this generation. They are ashamed of this generation. What did every grandma and old school mother say? Oh yeah, the way to a man's heart is through his stomach.
It might sound very weird, but I do not desire to be called an independent woman. I do want to have my money. I do want to be a successful woman. I do want to have financial freedom on my own. But being independent, I feel like it's a big word. And I don't want it. I do want a man to take care of me. I do want to say I rely on my man. I do want to go to even any little inconvenience. I'm gonna call a baby and say, this is what's happening. And he's like, I'm gonna fix it, mama. I am just that girl. Independent. I feel like it takes away my rights of being a woman. The rights that I was given to by nature. So, I do like submitting to men. I do like being led by a man. So I feel like independent takes away the softness in that.
What most women don't understand is that 99% of men would rather choose a shy, soft, and polite woman with zero achievements over the loud, arrogant career woman. Okay, so your job and how much money you make really doesn't matter to a successful man who has a successful career and makes his own money. He's not looking for a boss babe wife. He's not looking for someone, who makes a lot of money and is very successful. He's looking for someone who's going to add peace to his life. He's looking for a helper, not a competitor. A man doesn't want a woman who's going to compete with him. He wants a woman who complements him. So as a woman, it's our job to complement men, not compete with them. So it doesn't really matter how much money you make or what your achievements are. As a woman, you should be feminine, respectful, and submissive, and someone who wants to be a mother and wife.
What I find really fucking comical, me and all my liberal friends want to be traditional housewives. Well, not all of us, but most of us. But the problem is we don't like Republican men because they don't have the same sense of justice and morality that we do, because we care for every human being. And the liberal men don't believe in exploiting themselves for labor. So, we have to have an equal household, because the only ones that bust their ass and make enough money to support a stay-at-home mom, wife, whatever, are the Republican men, because they will exploit the shit out of themselves for money. Then they're miserable and burn out and take it out on everyone around them and refuse to take meds. So it's like, I'd rather be alone.
This is a huge reason why men left foreign women. Foreign women, unlike Western women, are actually taught from a young age on how to treat men properly. Western culture, women are raised with entitlement, and they're only taught on what to expect from men, not how they should treat men. Men are only taught on how to treat women, but not on what they should expect in return from women. Be honest. Okay, please don't tell the new age feminists this, but I would 100% rather stay home, cook and clean. 100% rather do that, okay? I love to cook and I love to clean and organize. Feminist, I know, okay? I love to cook good food and I love to clean and I love to do it for my man. Truly, I do. However, if that's expected outside of marriage, hard pass. Actually sounds like you're taking care of a child. But the look on a man's face, would you cook for him, clean for him, do anything to please him? That's what it's all about. Having him admire you with his blissfully happy eyes. It melts your heart. There's just something in me as a woman that makes me feel like this whole tradwife living isn't such a terrible thing. Why did we actually want to work? What was the idea or perspective of pursuing a career? There is nothing more satisfying than having a man that takes care of you. You're a gentleman that provides for you. You don't have to worry about anything. If you do that, I'll cook and clean all day. Why would I complain? I'll make you an incredible 5-course meal if it means I can stay at home. We fight for again as women because I'd much rather be exhausted from cooking and cleaning for my family than be exhausted as a career-driven woman working a job I don't like. Well, hate me all you want, but I'd 100% rather stay home and be provided for by my man and take care of him in return.
You know, I see why men are staying single because look around. We have women out here bragging about not cooking, not cleaning, not taking care of their home, not being soft, and not being supportive. And then expecting a man to show up as a provider, leader, planner, protector, and lover, while giving him absolutely nothing in return. And yes, I will be the one to say it. A home needs a woman who actually enjoys being a woman. A woman who takes pride in making her home feel warm and peaceful. A woman who loves her man in the same way that she wants to be loved. That is not oppression, that is care. Men are tired of being treated like a walking wallet. Tired of disrespect. Tired of begging for affection and a little peace. So, they are choosing to stay single, not because they hate women, but because they are looking for a woman that values her role just as much as his. And honestly, I don't blame them because relationships only work when both people show up and give.
I'm sorry to all the feminists for what I'm about to say, but I unfortunately do want a man to boss me around. I want a man to tell me what to do. I want a man to tell me to shut up and stay put. Listen, I have more masculine energy than half these men out here nowadays. Okay, I boss people around all day. The last thing I want to do is lead in our relationship. No, thank you. No, thank you. And listen, girls, the way you know if a man is really a masculine at his core is the way you receive his energy. You can't fake energy. If a man gives you an order and you immediately reject it with like, who the hell do you think you are? You probably have more masculine energy than he does. He's just being toxic. But when a man is really leading and he's a real masculine man, you'll feel protected. You'll want to be led and you'll feel like a little girl. You'll be like, yes, daddy. You'll accept it. So you can't fake this, okay? Don't try to fake it. But yeah, unfortunately, I do need to be told to shut up.
Men used to go to war for the women that they loved. Men used to build houses from the ground up with their bare hands for the woman that they loved. Men would go and work in coal mines and steel mills, endangering their life just to bring their whole checks to their wives because they loved them. Men used to stand out in front of a woman's house and profess their love by serenading her with flowers and R&B music at the top of their lungs because they loved them and they wanted everybody to know, that's my woman and I love her. And now we are online arguing about who gonna go 50-50 and whether or not we should go Dutch on the first date. Now the ladies are complaining that the men won't spend no money. They won't do nothing for me. I want to point out that it might be because everything that man could possibly work for that's of value, you give it all away online. Your booty is the main attraction of all of your photos on your Instagram. Twerking seems to be your only skill set on the TikTok. And you are proud to post your smoking and your drinking and your sexual exploits on the Facebooks and the Snapchats, right? What do they have left to pay for? What do they have left to work for? And regardless if y'all want to admit the truth or not, men are territorial. Men like to possess things. That's just how they're made. They are made to go out, hunt, gather, and conquer. Y'all like it when they making all the money, right? But they want to be able to say, that's my woman, that's my family, that's my home. The more we tell these men that we don't want you, we don't need you, and I can do what I want to do, my body, my choice, the less they feel like they need to be responsible for you. That might be why we're not getting what we want. Well, not us, but them.
Okay, just one more thing, and I'm getting off this app because I'm almost out of coffee and my brain is slowing down. But ladies, it is okay to hang up our Miss Independent titles. Everybody knows women can do everything. We're just not meant to do everything. Let these men come in, be protectors, be providers, and make our lives easier. You have nothing to gain by trying to prove your independence. You're truly just trying to prove it to yourself. And that's okay, but you don't have to. Hang it up. Be in your receiving energy. It is time to live a soft life. You deserve it. You deserve it.
Men are sick of modern women, and this is why. Don't get mad at me, I'm just the messenger. You do not complement that man's life. You complicate it. Men already have to go into the world, in their workplace, around other men. They have to compete 24/7. In order to be considered a high-quality man, you have to be competitive. He deals with all of that in the world already, and then he comes home to you, and you want to compete with him more. Reason number 2, there's no clear win for them. You want them to be strong, not dominant, though. Be sensitive, but don't be weak. Lead, but don't control me. Provide, but don't be transactional towards me. These men have no clear way to win a situation with most of you women. They become fatigued, and that's why they give up on you. You're then a reflection of the confusion they already feel in the world. Men do not get to be held to the same standard as women. They don't get to show their emotions freely and still be seen as strong. They're damned if they do, damned if they don't.
To all the women saying they want princess treatment from their man, if you want to be treated like a princess, then you have to act like a lady. No one wants to wife up a 304. Princesses are expected to behave a certain way. You actually have to listen to a man. You can't just go around doing whatever you want. This is something that most women don't want to do when they're talking about princess treatment. I think that term is so dumb because these women want to be treated like princesses, but they don't want to act like one.
Why would I be a feminist when I can just be feminine? Feminist ideology tries to convince women that relying on men is wrong. Bring down the patriarchy. And women actually benefit the most from this patriarchy. Let's let the men lead. Let's let the men go to war, do the tough jobs, work 80 hours a week, and let the ladies get her nails done, learn to cook, learn to sew. There's no pride in being Miss Independent. Important for everyone, man and woman, to be able to be independent and take care of themselves. But you don't win a trophy because you didn't rely on a man. The feminist ideology is the opposite of femininity. The happiest women I know are in relationships with men. And the most bitter people I know are single girls who are feminists. Any ideology that breeds contempt for an entire race, aka the male race, is not beneficial for you. The feminist ideology tells women to take charge, which literally doesn't let men act as they should, being masculine and manly and leading. So I'm honestly not surprised that a lot of these feminists have had bad experience with men because they probably kneecapped every single thing that made that man masculine. So this is your sign to ditch the feminist movement and embrace femininity instead.
Wait until you find out that feminism wasn't actually about equality, but about getting both parents out of the home, doubling tax revenue, and letting the government raise your children instead of you. Unfortunately, the message of feminism has really been blurred. Of course, I agree with the original feminists saying that they want equality, but unfortunately that has kind of turned into sameness instead of actual true equality. It is almost virtually impossible for a woman to choose to stay home or for a family to survive off of one income. And it's all because instead of promoting this idea of equality that women should be treated as equals, we have promoted this idea that women should be treated the same as men, and that is not the same thing. Now, because our society and culture has accepted this idea of sameness, that men and women are the same instead of equals, our government, our culture, our society treats women like men, and we wonder why we are treated like absolute crap. There's no maternity leave, there's no benefits, people treat pregnant women horribly, people treat women in general horribly, people treat children horribly, and it's all because of these ideals. Modern feminism has really just turned into this beast that has bit women in the butt, and we are suffering because of it.
You guys know about tradwives? Okay, so there's a whole pool of women now who, I wouldn't call them right-wing, but they're a right-wing adjacent. You know, there are women out there now that are tradwives. They're traditional housewives. They're all hot and they're all like, I cook every meal for my man, and the minute he gets home, I just want to please him. Some of you women out there watching this are like, OMG, I'm a tradwife. They're usually all beautiful, and it's giving 50s housewife aesthetic. In the kitchen, meal prepping, maybe making a casserole, baking. They're traditional housewives. They're very modern and very attractive.
Feminism gave us choice. It gave you choice to be a stay-at-home mom, and it gave me choice to... No, it actually took away your choice. Because as soon as the government realized that women could be manipulated into being a voting bracket and to contributing to a 2-household income, and that they could tax that, everything broke after that. You guys are the same people that complain about the fact that we cannot survive off of a single income household, which is true. I'm not going to argue that. But you can't in one breath say that you can't survive off of a single income household in 2026 in America, and then also say that you have the choice to be a stay-at-home mother this day. And let's just for 1 second grant you the idea that back then we had absolutely no choice, which is not true, but I'm just going to grant you that idea. Wouldn't you rather have the obligation that actually left women much happier than they are in 2026 right now? Women are on record levels of SSRIs, antidepressant and anxiety medications, therapy sessions. Women are not happy. Neither are men, but this is about women right now. Sure, there were things that women dealt with back then, but overall happiness rates were better. Women could stay at home with their children. They didn't have to outsource care to some other person. Feminism was the perfect lie that gave you the illusion that you have choice, while turning you into a sheep that votes for whatever they tell you to. So yeah, I'd rather not have choice. Honestly, I'd rather not have choice. I'd rather it be one way. And that one way, I'd prefer it to be when women were happier and could stay at home with their children and cook and clean for their husband and not listen to another man that's not their husband tell them what to do all day at a 9 to 5. Feminism is a lie.
Feminism ruined women. I'm so sick of this feminist matriarchy where everything is woe. That has to go. I think we should bring back the patriarchy and bring back sanity.
I've already pissed off a lot of people, so might as well keep going. Feminism was a scam. Yeah, feminism was a scam to get women into the workforce so they could tax both parents and then indoctrinate your children. You cannot change my mind.
I don't know about you guys, but I would rather be barefoot and pregnant in the kitchen than clocking into my daily 9 to 5. I think we got tricked.
Feminism is a scam. I don't care how educated I am, how smart I am, how much money I make. I will always be a traditional conservative woman. I am not a feminist. I cannot do, and nor do I desire to do everything that a man does. And I believe feminism was the breakdown of the American family unit. Somehow I have this belief that if they are successful and educated, that somehow that means that they don't need a man. And the reality is men need women and women need men. And I will die on that hill. When I say traditional family values, I do mean husband, wife, kids. Absolutely be beautiful, smart, educated, and you can also be an amazing wife and amazing mother. I think it's time for us to bring back traditional family values. So no, I'm absolutely not only conservative when it comes to politics. I'm also conservative when it comes to traditional family values.
Whatever you do in your life, please do not be a girl boss. And take it from me as someone who was a former girl boss. So I graduated with a degree in electrical engineering from a top engineering program. I hustled so much in my early 20s because I was like, I want to make it. I want to reach the top of the corporate ladder. And it did work to a certain extent. Like I worked at Spotify, I worked at Uber, and I worked at DoorDash as well. But in the process of being a girl boss, I kind of lost my sanity and my physical health was going to the trash. I developed PCOS as a result of not taking care of myself, and it took me almost a year and a half to kind of get rid of my symptoms. And I still kind of struggle with it from day to day. And now that I'm just like a stay-at-home girlfriend, I just work out whenever, I freelance, and I kind of live life on my own schedule. And also my quality of life is so much better because I have a man who has provider energy, actually cares for me, has a problem-solving mindset, and he's just a man. Like, it's so hard even nowadays to even come across men who are actually men because I don't know what happened in this, what they put in the water or something, but now these men are like acting like women and it doesn't make any sense. But yeah, just don't be a girl boss. Take it from me as a retired girl boss. It's not worth it.
Feminists are such fake activists. Like, I can't believe we're in 2025 and y'all are still talking about fighting for the right to work. Bitch, you can literally clock in, quit, go get another job. Like, what are y'all talking about? Go enjoy that. Go clock the fuck in. All this fake activism and shit, like, you guys actually think posting on social media is doing something to push the culture forward.